politics, some Texas leaders resumed a push today to force Austin police to play a more active role in enforcing immigration laws. Conservative lawmakers want to cut state money for APD programs like these if Austin officers do not make big changes. It's more than $600,000 in funding. KXAN's political reporter Phil Prazen listened to the arguments today on how best to ensure your safety.
Claudia Espinoza told a Senate committee on border security she moved here from Mexico with her husband and 2 kids. But for 2 years, she says her husband beat her, and she stayed silent.
I thought that if I reported the abuse, I would be separated from my family.
Claudia came to Texas illegally.
I'm fearful for the women that are suffering domestic violence and are still afraid to call police because they're afraid to be deported.
For years, Austin police reached out to the immigrant community for trust, hoping to encourage everyone to call 911 and report crimes. Last session, some lawmakers wanted an ultimatum: take a more active role in immigration enforcement or lose state grant money. It failed to pass the Senate by 1 senator. But the author of the bill made clear Friday he's determined to bring the idea up again.
Because there is another group we continue to ignore, those that are law-abiding citizens that have a potential of having their safety jeopardized by inaction by local.
He says victims of crimes like Claudia would not be deported, and this law would make everyone safer. But police could be stuck between a rock and a hard place, lose money or lose trust from part of the community. Phil Prazen, KXAN News.
For some perspective, Travis County detains some of the highest numbers of undocumented people in the country. In the last several weeks of this year, they have issued 51 ICE detainers. Republican lawmakers in Texas and across the country are trying to crack down on cities like Austin, where officers do not ask people they stop about their immigration status. In 2011 and again in 2015, state lawmakers introduced bills to ban so-called sanctuary cities, but that legislation failed both times. Just 2 months ago, North Carolina passed a bill banning sanctuary city policies in that state. And in Wisconsin, lawmakers there are debating a bill that would take away funding from cities who ban questions about a person's immigration status. Just last October, the U.S. Senate tried to strip federal funds from so-called sanctuary cities, but Democrats blocked that bill. Republicans have urged taking action since this summer. That's when a woman in San Francisco was allegedly killed by a Mexican national who had been deported 5 times and was released from a jail without being turned over to federal immigration officials.